man, Ken Shamrock. Hey, Ken, you're back in action now. You're back in Impact Wrestling. You're doing the stuff down in Vegas. It doesn't get any hotter than in Vegas, man. Sin City, big event coming up this weekend. What is it like being back? With the company.
Yeah, it's exciting. I'm looking forward to it. Sam's Town Live, 5th and 6th, which is Thursday and Friday. If you guys are interested in going, tickets are available on impactwrestling.com. It's going to be a blast. For one, like I said, I was, kind of razzing a little bit with Brian Cage, poking a little bit at him, and from champion to champion, and all of a sudden this guy Moose starts chiming in, and next thing I know, this guy's talking about all these things that he's done, and I kind of looked him up, and I was like, man, first of all, if you're going to be chiming in on something like that, you're going to be putting yourself over. First of all, you need to make sure that it's real, because when he started talking about his football and how he did this and that, 5-star athlete, and I hooked him up, man. He's like a 5-star bust. He didn't do anything. He never got off the bench, and started talking about pay, about how he made more money than I did. And I was like, man, what does that got to do with anything? So I looked that up too, man. The guy never got off the bench, man. You can't make money that way if you don't play. Anyways, all this talk. So, it's fun for me, right? I mean, this is going to be a fun time for me, because I'm going to get to go down there on the 5th and 6th and stand in front of this guy, and he's going to have to put up or shut up.
Man, I'm listening to you right now, Ken. And my thing is this: when I wrestled, and I performed, I didn't like the guy that I was working with that night, and I used to put that in my mind. I really felt that way, But listening to you right now, it actually feel like you got real, hatred, or I wouldn't say hatred, but disdain, for this man. I don't know, but it sounds like that. I mean, how deep in this are you?
You know, I've always been the kind of guy that I give respect when respect is due. I don't try to disrespect anybody. I always try to make sure that, hey, listen, guy's earned his right. But when you got somebody that's trying to earn their right and hasn't done anything yet, that kind of pisses me off.
Hey,
now, trying to discredit me, saying I'm a nobody and that you've done nothing and that who cares whether you're in the UFC, you're washed up. I was like, dude, I may be washed up in the UFC, but I can still whoop your ass.
hey, man, do you feel like, when you look in the mirror, and this not a trick question or anything like that. I know for me, I'm still testing myself. I still want to, I'm always going to be the 5-time champ. You know what I mean? Do you feel that way when you look in the mirror, that I'm Ken Shamrock. I'm the most dangerous man alive.
Yeah, I don't say I'm a dangerous man alive, but I know what I've done, right? And just like with you, man, I mean, you've earned the right to be able to talk. So, there's just certain guys that have talked the talk and walked the walk. And then there's other guys that talk the talk and haven't walked the walk. I mean, maybe he will down the road, but he hasn't up to this point. And so, now he's got me all pissed off. And, his bosses even called me because they're tired of him talking all this crap. And so they said, hey, we invite you down here. You go ahead and stand in front of him. Let's see what happens. And I said, I'm in. And so I'm going to be down there, 5th and 6th, man. So you can bet I'm going to be standing there in front of him, and let's see what happens.
Hey, man, I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure the world's looking forward to it. Hey, man, before I get you out of here, man, and since we're talking wrestling, what do you think about the state of professional wrestling in 2019? You got AEW, you got WWE, you got NXT. You got all these young guys out there doing so much stuff. I mean, it's so different now than when you last saw it. Pretty much. What's your thoughts on the game right now as far as the wrestling game?
I love it, man. I think that it's balanced right now. The actual wrestlers can literally negotiate a fair contract for themselves, because now they have a place to go to. If they don't like what they got in one place, they can go ahead and go to another. Whereas for a long time, WWF was the only game in town, and you either took it or you weren't working anywhere.
Yeah.
So now it's kind of evened out with all the independent shows that you can literally go to all these different places, and you can negotiate a pretty good contract for yourself. You can literally tell your own story, and you can tell it a lot faster. You have some creativity on what you want to do with each opponent. So right now, it's an exciting time for wrestlers. It's an exciting time for organizations because they're all pushed to be able to make themselves better because they don't have to just lay on their backs because there's no competition. Now everybody has to produce, including wrestlers and promoters. And it's exciting for the fans because the fans get to see the wrestlers go. I mean, think about this. If back in the day when you had WCW and WWF and another organization up and running, and that these guys had enough space to not sign contracts where they were completely locked into one, you imagine I could have been over there wrestling Goldberg or, anybody that I wanted to go over and wrestle because I wasn't locked into one contract.
Yeah.
Well, that's what's happening right now with these independent shows or these independent networks is that these wrestlers are able to go in and be able to sign and be able to wrestle for an organization and then be able to go somewhere else and wrestle for another organization. And so the fans get to see the wrestlers have much broader expand on being able to wrestle all these other different wrestlers and not be locked into one organization. It's a great time.
You know, I said the same thing. I said, I don't know, over a year ago. I said wrestling is the hottest that it's ever been, right now. Even when we had the Monday Night Raw awards, I think wrestling right now, just because of what you just said, the independent world is on fire. You can have a career on the independent scene now.
Make a living.
If you're good enough, you know what I mean? If you're popular enough, if you got enough followers, that's the way it really is right now. Social media has taken over the whole wrestling game. So you're definitely right. You might need to get you an analyst job or something, after this wrestling thing because you're pretty knowledgeable, man. You could be used in other places, man. So I just want to let you know that, bro. But I congratulate you, bro, on making your comeback. How you gonna tell a man he can't go out there and feed his family? That's one of my things I say all the time. So, bro, I commend you for still, doing what you do and being who you are, which is Ken Shamrock, the world's most dangerous man. I just want to thank you for stepping inside the Hall of Fame, bro.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me, and I'm excited about this. And you're right. When you looked at the earlier days of pro wrestling, it seemed like you almost had to fall in line with what storylines they were telling. One guy got pushed or two guys got pushed, but yet you had 7 or 8 guys underneath that were tremendously talented, but it just wasn't your turn yet. Right now, because now you have 8, 9, 10, 12 guys that are tremendously talented, now these guys can literally go out on these independent circuits and go out and be what they want to be and wrestle the people they want to wrestle and not be locked into a contract where you got to follow the lead.
It's a great time in life right now, professional wrestling, man. So, hey, man, I'm going to be looking forward to checking out what you're going to be doing with Impact Wrestling. Hopefully you can go out there and capture that championship. We can see you perhaps capture the AEW championship. We can see perhaps you come to the WWE and do it one more time, as well as we're going to start the campaign tonight.
Right now,
to get Ken Shamrock into the WWE Hall of Fame. How about that?
Hey, I appreciate that, man, and thank you so much, you guys. I appreciate you.
Hey, man,
thanks, Ken.
We appreciate you, bro. Holla back, Ken. I say we do it, man. We start the campaign tonight to get Ken Shamrock inside the Hall of Fame. I'm talking about the legitimate Hall of Fame, the WWE Hall